you ready to learn to get rid of stress in your life? To learn how to deal with the emotional turmoil that causes strokes, heart attacks, bad health, and even weight gain? Life-changing habits for work, family, and everyone you deal with start here with Andrew Wittman. It's time to get warrior tough. Here's Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman.
All right, welcome to Get Warrior Tough, the most monumental hour in media anywhere. We're your friendly neighborhood leadership and mental toughness coaches, Andrew Wittman and the Dutch Coleman.
Good evening, my friends. You're right, the most monumental hour ever.
And it's so much fun, too. It's like spoonfuls of sugar if sugar was good for you while the medicine went down.
We'll take it in moderation, just like us. You take us in moderation, you'll do just fine.
Just fine. Hey, if you want to join the conversation, call us at 855-856-1380 on Twitter. Use the hashtag GetWarriorTough. Dutch is at @DutchColeman. I'm at Warrior Tough PhD. You can go to the website GetWarriorTough.com and hook on at any time. We could be with you 24/7. You could get the Get Warrior Tough app, and we could be playing in your ear all the time. Isn't that cool, Dutch?
Yeah, I love it. I love hearing my own voice all day long.
Yeah, I just edit my part out and I just listen to you talk. But then sometimes it sounds kind of weird because you're answering a question and I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what just happened? What? Oh, man. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, hey, listen, dude. Crazy week this week, right? Off the charts for Mental Toughness Training Center, Get Warrior Tough, right? So I had an article that was published in Entrepreneur on Monday, right? So it hit and they put it out and it came out Monday morning, and by within 3 hours it had over 250 shares. So our PR people had already heard from the editor at Entrepreneur, wanted us to do another article for the July issue. How cool is that?
That is wonderful. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that confirmation that what you're doing is great, and that's what we got.
Yeah, and so the name of the article is In High Stress Workplaces, Does Mental Toughness Matter? In High Stress Workplaces, Does Mental Toughness Matter? And then, icing on the cake, Dutch, FoxNews.com picked it up, and then they ran it.
Beautiful. Yeah, another legitimate news source.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And there's been over, so I want to thank everybody in the audience. There's already been over 700 shares of the article. I think it's up to around 725 or something right now. So that's really cool.
Yeah, once you get into Entrepreneur and Fox News, you're talking about nationally, internationally known sources of information. So once we find our space in there, I mean, the sky's the limit. So we're doing what we set out to do. We're influencing people. We're affecting the lives of people, and this is just the beginning.
Right, and like you always like to say, we're ahead of schedule because we've already been in the BBC 2 weeks ago. So we are on the international scene, dude, in a big way. So that's really, and we're on the BBM Global Network, not like the Backyard Network. So, right, so we're going everywhere, man. We're going everywhere. Now, listen, I heard through the grapevine that we have a caller, and it is somebody that you know, Dutch.
Absolutely wonderful young lady that I went to college with. And I'm sure she would appreciate this. She's younger than me, so she's not as old as me, and she looks about half as young as me. So it's a good friend, Anita Nelson. So it's good to hear from her this evening.
Anita, are you there?
I am.
Welcome to the Get Warrior Tough radio show. We're so glad you called in. What up?
What up?
Hey, Anita, how you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So good to hear from you. What you got on your mind tonight?
Oh, nothing. I was just calling in to support you and just see what you guys have on tap for tonight.
Oh, that's good stuff. It's funny. We a lot of times, we have a set agenda for what we're going to talk about each week. And I tell you what, the people we deal with on a weekly basis always end up supplying us with, I always say, meatier and juicier stuff. So we have so much to choose from because, as you know, we coach actual people during the week, executives, business owners, employees, in management and different things. So we'll help them deal with different issues. So we always have a whole bunch of things that we deal with. And then we have, someone even like yourself who can call us in with a random question about what you may be dealing with. So man, we are so wide open when it comes to it. And today we're going to touch on something that I know you would appreciate. We're going to touch on emotion and how to employ or deploy your emotion in a workplace. So I think you may be really interested in that part. So
yeah, and so before you go, Anita, can we ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 7, 7 being the best, how good are you at controlling your emotions? 7 being really, I'm awesome at it. 1, not that much.
In the work setting, definitely, I can control my emotions very well.
What if someone cuts you off? Someone cuts you off in traffic, right? And they steal your parking spot at the mall. 1 to 7.
1 to 7.
Yeah.
Again, I'm middle road. I would say about a 2. I'm very even keel, I think.
That's awesome. We're just giving you a hard time. We're really glad you called.
But I did love how Anita said in the workplace.
In the workplace, yeah. What?
She qualified that in the workplace, because I would imagine that.
But if I'm passionate about something, I can hit 7 real fast.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. That's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Anita's definitely, she can be fiery. She's a highly intelligent young lady. But I know she's from Charleston, and she's one of the ones I call, one of them Charleston girls that can really get fired up really quickly about something. But I've never seen her out of control or anything like that. But I've never planned on seeing her out of control. So
that's good.
I don't want to contribute to that.
Right. So anyway, Dutch, we ran into some stuff this week about, and this is our bread and butter, is deploying our emotions, really, not just controlling them, but using them, calling upon them when we need them, and putting them back on the shelf when they would get in the way. Right. So, and you and I had a conversation about the difference between like controlling them and like concealing them. Like it would be like 2 different things, even though it sounds subtle, but it's actually a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. If you think about concealing them, then they're still there. They're still eating you. So they're eating you up from the inside out. They're not affecting your environment unless you talk about the damage it's doing to you. So a lot of times we say, okay, I'm not going to get emotional. And what we really mean is I'm not going to show my emotions to everyone else. But on the inside, there's this emotional battle, this struggle that's like killing you, and it's physically affecting you. And so we really have to distinguish between controlling your emotions, both inside and out, and not concealing them so that you're not impacting the others around you. Because remember, it's you first. So you have to do things from the inside out. And there's a lot of people out there that think that covering their emotions or not showing them is enough. That's not enough.
Right, and that will almost do more damage because if you're keeping everything tamped down, that's what's like. What we always say in the warrior culture, it's the quiet ones you have to watch out for. They're the ones that end up going like postal, right? So because
Absolutely.
They keep tamping everything down. And what we know about the human machine, Dutch, is like if you still operate out of a fear-based mindset, even though I'm not showing it to anybody, that still half my brain is still shutting down. I'm rerouting my thoughts to a part of my brain that isn't helping me make good, just logical decisions.
Absolutely. It's like if I'm overweight, so I wear a lot of baggy clothes to conceal it, I'm still going to have the same health issues, even if no one can really see how overweight I am or how out of shape I am. If no one can see it or witness it for themselves because I'm wearing these big baggy clothes, the effects are still happening under those clothes. I'm still in trouble health-wise. I'm still, being affected by the negative things associated with being overweight. All that stuff's still happening. So covering it, hiding it, concealing it is not the target. That's not what you want.
Right, and it goes back to that thing that we always talk about, secret life, private life, public life. Just because you put a public face on something doesn't necessarily mean that's who you are. That's your reputation. Oh, they're a cool customer or whatever, but secretly it's a mess and it's a jungle in there, right? Then whatever happens in your secret life will eventually come out. You can't keep that tamped down forever like that. So it's going to explode like a pressure cooker or a volcano eventually.
Absolutely. So we, again, how to reach us. You can go to getwarriortough.com. If you feel like you're one of those folks, then you really need to tap into us because, it could save your life. You're talking about this is literal. This isn't some figurative thing where we're trying to give you example. No, you're really being destroyed by the moment each day, health wise, with stress. We talked about all the negative effects of stress, and that's just what we know about because we learn more and more about it each year, each month. I mean, new
Right.
reports are coming out every day.
Every day.
It seems.
And let me,
how
I
we're
just want
tying
to
it
kind of give like an anecdotal example of this, right? So, Dutch, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was, in great shape, 7-8% body fat, 6'5". I was like 175 when I got out of boot camp, so I was just rail thin, no body fat, great shape, running, pull-ups, all that, passing the PFT test, the physical fitness test, first class, all that stuff. Stand there at attention while the drill instructor is belittling you, right? I'm controlling my emotions on the out, or I'm concealing my emotions on the outside, but on the inside, you're just like, and you're. My blood pressure was literally, I'm 20 years old, 140/90, dude. And that's not from diet. That wasn't because I was out of shape. That was because I was concealing my emotions and not giving them an outlet.
Oh, goodness.
And so that blood pressure, you're just a minute away from stroking out. When you opt for concealing emotions instead of controlling them and deploying them, you're a minute away from stroking out. No kidding.
And it's real. Again, like you said, this isn't something we're making up. These are real life things. And you can go talking about public life, private life. You're talking about people who are dealing with stuff and they're keeping it in, and then you find out when it's too late that they had a drug problem. They were, had an suffering from alcoholism or anything like that. And what they were doing was they were masking it. They were covering it up. But it was still impacting. It was still had the same effect as if everyone knew about it, but we just didn't know about it, which, as Andrew said earlier, it could be worse because now no one can help you because you're concealing it. So you have to deal with what's real, not to conceal it. We have to deal with it, not conceal with it.
Yeah, and this is kind of what Kwok and I were talking about on Out of Bounds on his show on WCCP here in Clemson today about the Baylor thing. Like, they concealed it. Of all that stuff that's going on with the Title IX and the sexual assaults, they concealed it. Their whole culture was, we don't even want to talk about it. They're living in delusion. They put their head in the sand. I don't even want to have the conversation. Let's not even acknowledge it's there. And it all comes out in the end, Dutch, and it never comes out well.
Never. And you got to ask yourself, how do I want to proceed? Because it's going to get you. I mean, it's going to get you, just a matter of time. And you gotta ask yourself, is your famous words, is this hurting me or helping me?
Right.
And of course, yeah.
Yeah, you got to take the honest assessment. You cannot be afraid to have objective reality. Take a hard look at what the facts are, Dutch, not what you wish they were, but what the facts actually are, and then you could start to make course corrections based on them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me how we love head in the sand stuff. We love to be delusional. The masses, we don't bother me with that. Let's just pretend it's not there, and maybe we do this with conflict all the time. And this is the same thing about concealing the emotion, right? We kind of act polite to somebody to their face, especially here in the South. And as soon as they leave, it's just like, rah, you're knifing them in the back if you could, right? And that's where like we say bless their heart and stuff, But you know what? We're taught that at a very young age, though. I mean, if you think about it with males in this population, you're taught to hide your emotions, to cover your emotions, to not let anyone know that you're hurt. So emotions is such a huge part of our society as far as a problem. And if we don't address our emotions and what to do with them, you're going to be in trouble one way or the other. One way or the other. Dutch, we're up on a break. You're listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch Coleman and me, Andrew Wittman.